Hey, welcome to Life with Al. I have been thinking a lot about emotions and just all the emotions we go through in a single day. Y'all know, as caregivers, it is a lot. It is very emotionally taxing. And I know that we need to feel our emotions. We can't stuff those babies. We gotta express them and get them out. But I also feel like if we can learn to manage Al and learn some coping skills to where we can stay more grounded, hopefully my goal for myself is I'm going to have all those emotions, but maybe not to the extreme level and not cycling through them as often as I do. Because I'm going to share with you kind of a typical day in my life of emotions. And since we're just getting to know each other, I feel like some people may be like, oh my gosh, why is she doing this? She is a basket case herself. But I do know years ago I had to speak at a pretty large event, and it was supposed to be an inspirational story. Well, before I could speak, things had changed greatly, and I felt like a failure because the situation, like I said, had changed. Well, I called this person knowing they were going to have to get another speaker, and she said, no, if there's one thing I know, God uses broken people. This story still needs to be told. And honestly, I was kind of mad because I was embarrassed. I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to be completely out there and vulnerable. And, I'm not this, successful conqueror. I'm pretty much devastated. Anyway, I took her advice because I didn't feel like I had a choice. And it went well, and I learned that God really does use broken people. So just know, I know I do not have it all together. So, okay, that was long and rambly, but I just had to put that out there before I tell you so you do not judge my normal day. Okay, so I wake up in the morning. I'm feeling pretty good. I wake up before mom because I have to get centered. So I spend some time in prayer, meditation, doing some reading, and then, oh my gosh, y'all, I just discovered yoga. And I know I am years late to join that bandwagon, but it really helps. Now I know what all the buzz is about. So I do my yoga, doing my deep breathing, feeling a little more flexible, just stronger in my center in my core. And there are all kinds of free places you can do yoga online, y'all, too. And you can be overweight, no flexibility. They give you alternatives. I can't encourage that enough. So I do that, and then I'm trying to lose weight. So I do Denise Austin on YouTube. Child of the 80s. Y'all probably don't know her if you're younger. Like nice little jazzercise, got her little leg warmers on. Anyway, do that. I skip down the stairs feeling pretty good about myself. And yeah, today's going to be a good day. That lasts maybe a couple hours. Believe me, that's a good day. Bad days, that euphoria dissipates like in 10 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. I walk in and I'm not even going to go through the details. Y'all know there are 1,000 different reasons that our joy can be sucked out. Al sucks that joy right out. Not my mom. Mom is always sweet and gracious. But for example, these are some of the feelings. I've already felt euphoria and happiness and joy. Okay, then I go downstairs and I start getting frustrated at the repetitive questions. I mean, just within 15 minutes. And then impatience. Oh my goodness. If you would just let me do this, we could have it done in 10 minutes, but I don't want to frustrate her. So I'm trying to be patient, but I'm feeling very impatient on the inside because it's going to take 30 minutes. And then after a couple hours, I'm thinking, I'm angry. I should not have to be going through this again. And this should not be my life right now. And then the guilt. Oh my goodness, that's what I'm going to talk about today. The guilt consumes me of, sweet, sweet Gladys. She did this faithfully and patiently for so many years with my dad. I'm just starting this journey and I'm already getting frazzled. And so then I start feeling like a loser, and then I'm angry at myself, and then I get sad and depressed and weepy. I'm laughing now, y'all, but I'm really not embellishing. So then my mom takes a nap right after lunch. I'm able to come back upstairs on a good day and get recentered. And often I will do my calm app. Sometimes I take a little cat nap. I've never been that big of a napper, but now I find out sometimes I need it. I watch me a couple inspirational TED Talks. If y'all don't know Teepa Snow, you need to get to know her on YouTube. She is wonderful at just loving caregivers, advocating for people with Alzheimer's, teaching us how to communicate, how to keep our manage. Just Google Teepa Snow. Great resource. So I sometimes do that, and then I'm like, okay, I can face the afternoon. Anyway, enough of that. I don't know if any of y'all experience this. Hopefully not to the extreme measure that I do, but I know that all caregivers experience some of those emotions, if not all of them, in the course of a week. Maybe not in a couple of hours. But today what I want to do is talk about guilt, because that is one of my more pressing, or sometimes it seems like I deal with guilt the most. And honestly, I had an incident happen about a month ago, and I decided to let that guilt go. I was very intentional about it, but it just keeps coming up. So now I'm thinking maybe if I verbalize it out loud, get it out there, maybe I will really let it go. I had decided I hadn't been sleeping much at night, and my mom has a cat in her room that she talks to a lot. I'm going to go with it's adorable. It's not adorable at 3 o'clock in the morning when you have a baby monitor next to you, and I can hear her doing her, I'm not even going to do the little tongue clicking and the baby talk, but anyway. So that was going on a lot, and thankfully my mom's at a place to where she's not wandering, and I don't really fear, don't have those fears that a lot of y'all do when your loved one doesn't sleep, and my heart breaks for y'all. But I decided that I would just turn the volume off on that so I could get some sleep. So I did. And I thought, well, I could still see her on the monitor, and I wake up several times during the night. So I did that. Well, the next morning I went downstairs, and as soon as I opened the door, I could tell that something was amiss. Her blankets were all over the floor. Her gown was hanging off her shoulder. Just things were out of place in her room. And I said, Mom, was your night okay? And she sat up, and her eyes were all puffy, and she said, no, it wasn't okay. She said, I had the worst night. She said, and she has never been this delusional. And I know it could have been sundowners, but I don't know if it happened all night. I pray it did not, but this is what she said. She said, Katie was kidnapped, and Katie's my 16-year-old daughter, and she said she was sleeping in the bed with me, and I woke up and she wasn't here. Katie has never slept in the bed with her. And she said, I was looking for her all over. She said, I was going through the closets, I was looking under my bed, I tried to get out of the house, which really terrified me. She said, but y'all had the doors locked, my cell phone doesn't work, and honestly, she doesn't really know how to do it all the time now. Irrelevant, but she was so distraught reliving it. And I said, well, Mom, that was a nightmare. And she said, I know it was a nightmare now, but it was so scary. And I said, well, Mom, why didn't you call? And as I was about to say, why didn't you call me? Her voice is so frail and weak now. I can't hear her when she calls me upstairs, and I've since put a bell in her room and different things. And I always leave the volume up on the monitor, obviously. Learned that lesson the hard way. But as I was saying that, I knew why, because I had turned the volume down. And so because I wanted to get a good night's sleep. I don't know if she suffered with that psychotic, delusional episode for an hour, or if it was most of the night. I know it was horrible. And so I sat with her, consoled her, and then went upstairs and had a good shower weeping session. And then I told myself, okay, you know what not to do now and what you're going to do different, so we need to let this go. But of course, that's, it's just festering. So then I go downstairs, though, and it's lunchtime, and I ask Mom, what would you like for lunch? And she's just all her normal sweet Gladys self, and she doesn't seem to remember it, and she hasn't brought it up since. And the rest of the day was a really good day. So my point is, when we beat ourselves up over something, that we feel like we failed at, we didn't do this good enough, or we used a harsh tone, or we lost our patience, or whatever, just know one of the only good things about Alzheimer's is they don't remember those bad things. She honestly, after she expressed it to me and I consoled her, it's like it was gone, and she hasn't brought it up again. However, with me, it's right there. And like I said, that day when I saw that, I told myself, okay, she's forgotten it, Susan, so you let it go. You can't hang on to that. But every now and again, I think about it, and I feel like the biggest loser caregiver for putting her through that. But this is what I'm trying to do and what I'm encouraging y'all to do, okay? We have to hold tight to those balloons, people. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch my first video. And I know that was a long one, so I time-stamped it so you can jump forward. But if we are so wrapped up in guilt, we cannot find joy in the day and trying to hang on to all those good things about our person and the energy it takes just to spend time doing things they enjoy during the day if they're still able, reminiscing with them, all of those little things that help us be joyful and happy during our day. We don't have the energy to do that, y'all, if we're just cycling through and just feeling this burden of guilt. So I am committing to let go of mine, and I pray that you will let go of yours. I was going to share two of the main reasons that other reasons that people feel guilty, and so I am going to do a part 2 because it's my prerogative and I can. But I wanted to keep this less than 10 minutes. I'm at 11:29 for the record. So stay tuned for part 2. Take care.